Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Jayden Daniels, the Commanders. Keep it rolling, locked in, fired up. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, inexpensive way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. So hop over there, join, become a member. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Jayden Daniels, the Commanders are rolling. Cliff and company dialing them up. 3rd and 4, wide open. Now, there are a few things early on in this game that I really love from Cliff. I thought he was able to design some easy throws for Jayden Daniels, and Jayden's playing a clean game. Get the ball out quickly. Pass protection is solid. Put it right on him. This is, to me, an air raid staple. We're going to get a little friendly fire up top with the motion. So what I'm used to calling in the West Coast world like a circus, so up and to the corner, and then this number 2 is going to come up and run like this flat. And what we're going to get is both these defenders to essentially run into each other. So friendly fire right there. If that wasn't there, you probably got the Y cross coming across and that backside post curl. So again, the bones of air raid, but we're scheming up the first read. The first read is open. 3rd and 4, 3rd and medium. Get us an easy throw, empty. We got wide receivers chipping. So there's a little layers of creativity here with empty, easy throw. Again, that's wide open in the league on 3rd down. And this wasn't the only time it happened. So again, you can see the mixture of scheme, decisiveness, giving your rookie quarterback an easy throw as a number 1, and it's open. Get it on it, put it on him, first down, let's go. So next one here, 3rd and 4, another easy-ish completion. We're going to go to 14 up top as the new number 1. He's going to run what I'm used to calling a whip or a little arrow, basically sell the shallow cross, put his foot in the ground and come back out to the flat. Jayden Daniels is able to hit his back foot, ball out quickly, pass protection solid. The ball comes out very quickly. So we're kind of formation effing him here, starting with split back, moving to a kind of a dirty 3-by-1 loose bunch. 5-step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball out. Again, the throw is accurate. It's precise. They've got a cool little layered, what I'd call like a swap scissors going on by the 3 and the 2. But what I love from Cliff is the ability to say, hey, it's 3rd down. Let's just get the number 1 who we're looking to first open. So there it is. Boom. The guy, I think, is coming down from the heavens here, trying to tackle this guy before this sticks. It's going to be tough. Everything else here, if we're working to the post, to the corner, this is what I'm used to calling like a 3-2 swap scissors. But you can just high-low this thing or low-high this thing outside. And again, boom, it's there. Put it on him immediately. Again, decisive, easy wins for your quarterback on really, tough down and distance in the league. 3rd down, 3rd and medium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball out. And again, when he goes to throw this thing, we've got some space. We've got 5 yards of separation there. Perfect. Put a move on. Good player, can't make the tackle in open space before the first down. So again, it's a combination of, you can see the offensive architecture, the game planning, how these things are structured together, the shift, the loose bunch, the ball's out quickly, someone's open, first down again. Next one here, beautiful little speed out up top. So we're in 13 personnel. Great use of different personnel from Cliff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball out, speed out to the boundary, to the short side, playing with anticipation. Put it right on him. This is a pretty unique route combination out of 13 personnel. Essentially speed outs on the outside. All go by the 2s. It's one of those things where, again, as kind of a basic underlying tenet of what I think of as really good offense, is when you can turn on the film and you can see multiple winners. So here, the seam is going to be a winner. We've got seam down here. And I think we run speed out down here by the number 1. So mirrored concept. But if they're going to rock and roll this thing, or get, have a safety trying to get back to the middle of the field, winner. We've got multiple opportunities to drive the ball down the field. Now, I will say, I'm not certified. This air raid world, to me, the footwork can sometimes be a little funky. I don't think most people would throw this gun 5 no hitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still playing with anticipation, right? You can see him go to throw that thing over the flat defender 58 up top. You can also see that seam coming open up top. So you've got two good opportunities to drive it up there, rip that thing with anticipation. Again, notice the ball location. It's up on his face. It's easy to catch. Decisive. The number one is open. Boom. Got him. Dunk. Love it. Next one here, 3rd and 2. We're going to catch 0 here. We're going to be really decisive, get the ball up top to the little slant under. And I just love Jayden Daniels' decisiveness. I love the offense giving him answers versus 0. Now, the extra defender is coming from the heavens, so we have a little bit of time. But this is a great job from Jayden Daniels, recognizing the coverage. Again, 3rd and short, 3rd down, meaningful down and distance. We're in 6-person protection, right? So we've got the back and the offensive lineman. Technically, they have 6 at the line of scrimmage here, 5, 6. This is technically the 7th or extra defender, and he's just too far. He's never going to get there from here. I think of it quarterback-wise as an easy way to just think about it is every 5 yards of this free runner is an extra hitch. So +5, 1 hitch. You're welcome. Okay, so if he was coming from back here, you'd have 2 hitches. So you can essentially do your normal draw, take a hitch and throw without getting hit if a defender comes from 5+ yards. So again, even though technically it's 0, he's got enough time. Take his drop. He doesn't even hitch, falls out of that thing, but he's got more time than he probably thinks. Regardless, we've got great answers. We're able to execute on 3rd down again. Another 1st down. So just a really nice job from Jayden, this time kind of bailing away. You know, maybe not my favorite way in the world here to block this. I don't necessarily love a squeeze and gun like this from the left guard. So again, every team's going to have their own protection rules. But if we're sliding to the left, and this technically is the backs player, so if he's supposed to be fanning out, and this linebacker type walks into the A gap here, I'd rather have the big on the big and let the back go blunt this guy in the A gap cross key, as opposed to what they do here, which was I'm used to calling a squeeze. So he would step down. He's now going to take the little guy, the linebacker, and now we've got to ask the back to cross key all the way across to the 4 technique, which is a big guy. That's not what I'm looking to do, even though it works here. I don't love cutting people in the backfield. I just feel like you're asking for trouble. Cross, you can see, it works out, but you don't want to have your quarterback's knee under that guy coming down either. Next one here, big guy personnel out there. We're going to run a little naked down here to the bottom. I'm going to call this a stutter comeback. He might just be stuttering on his own, but it's a really nice route. Again, it's playing to the strengths of Jayden Daniels. Move the launch point, play to his athleticism, let him rip it on the run, throws a great ball. You can see the arm talent. I love the fact, again, multiple personnel. I think the one of the many things I was interested to see with Cliff coming into the year was what's he going to do with the edges. So big guy edge, extra guy in the backfield. Route-wise here, watch this little like hezzy or stutter into the comeback. So you've got that. You've got the backside over. Again, clean, easy. We're moving the launch point, so we're staying on the move. We're not stressing the offensive line to drop back and pass protect every single time we want to throw it. Watch that route. Got him. And then again, Jayden ripping this thing outside the numbers. It's a beautiful job. Watch him carve it downhill, get going towards his target. Ball comes out on time. Just a really nice, well-executed play. Again, it looks like the first option is there. He's looking there, let it rip. Right on him. Great design, excellent execution, another chunk. Next one here. This is a bit of a bummer. All right, this is the interception. We're going to throw it to the safety up top. Trying to work. It looks like the number 2 up top. I'm going to call this, I guess, a post. He doesn't really run it like I would want, probably more seamy. Again, I'm not in their huddle. I'm not in their offensive install. I don't know the intent of this play. I would say if you're trying to rip this quote unquote post or seam into a half field player up there, I would want the ball. I think of the ball as like a ceiling of 22 yards, meaning that anything past 22 yards, when you start flirting with 25 plus, not only is it a chance for this, an interception, but you're asking for a big hit. And so again, the ball's right on the 49. So watch where this thing is kind of potentially caught. 49, well past the 29. I mean, that's on the 19, right? He catches that on the 19. So 30 yards. What I'm saying here is, let's assume that I know what the read is. And then we're going to say we're going to run must outside release go. Here's that post or seam. Here's that what I think a lot of people would call a special. And then it looks like they're running almost like a cross underneath it. Great. And this is a cool looking play. We got a lot of answers here. To me here, if you're trying to work this, if you want to throw this, again, I think of the ceiling as 20-ish. Anywhere, a lot of coaches will say 18 to 22 to get that sweet spot in between the half field safety. I think it's probably there. Again, if this is supposed to be like a over the top post, then I don't like the decision to throw it at all. But if it's more seamy, which I'm not sure it is, but I would prefer it like a seam where he comes in here, bends and looks for it. To me, it looks like he's running more posty. And again, I'm not certified. Don't come at me sideways with that shit. But I'm just saying that the hole is there. The other part, and again, I feel like I'm pretty consistent with this. The drops occasionally with the cliff air raidy stuff, okay, even though it's not true air raid, sometimes to me don't align with what I think of traditional as like universal principles for NFL passing game. So again, when I say like 18 to 22 yards for a seam, that's not my opinion. I didn't invent these numbers. This is what damn near I played for a third of the league used to say. Now maybe the landmarks have changed, but I think it's there, or if he wanted to hit this. But if you're going to do play action, you really can't take 4 steps. So I'm used to this being 3 no hitch potentially, 3 tight hitch, 3 quick reset, drop wise. So for me here, he fakes it. Then he takes a left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, almost 4-step kind of awkward drop. That to me also makes it late. So, you be the judge here as far as first, let's look just the timing. Is it there kind of in that 20-yard window? So right on the 30, right there. Now, I think you could make the argument that curl defender is probably underneath it. Okay, if you don't like it, check it down. Okay, easy, right? Captain Obvious with the clicker and the marker day after. But what I definitely don't like is the drop. So fake, that's just at least 1 step. Left, right, tight hitch. Now we're late. Interception on the 19. So for me here, the timing is funky. It's probably a little bit of a blurry decision. Again, I think he runs a bit more of a post than a seam. So it's just all kind of disjointed and kind of out of the ordinary for this unit. I feel like a lot of this unit up until this point in this game was locked in and precise. And this felt just out of whack, late, a little nasty. Next one here, 3rd and 15. Now, this is a bit of a bummer because this is there. 3rd and 15 is a brutal down and distance. You're not thinking you're going to get a great opportunity for a first down here. But he's really got this down the field. It's just late. And again, I probably, this play has become popular since I've been in the league. Okay, so I can only talk about how I think it's read as opposed to how I've ever seen it taught. But it's there. I think of this play as more of a tricks poach kind of quarters-y play. So let's talk about what exactly I'm talking about. So we're coming up and we're running over the top here. Then we're going to come up and run right, kind of like a deep over the ball hook. And I think of this play as traditionally in 3-by-1, trying to pay attention to what this weak safety over here is doing. And I want his attention on that number 3, and then we're going to throw it right over the top of him as kind of that deep shot down the field. Now, when you play the Cardinals, you get what I'm used to calling this Big 12 3 safety bullshit. Okay, so you've got to see it post-snap, whatever the hell they're going to do. Well, they end up getting to closed. Okay, I don't think of this play as traditionally designed for closed, although it can play itself out in a very similar manner. So it gets to closed, the corner's down here, and now we still have the same space we're trying to attack, right? We've still got the same routes going there, but it's not quarters, it's not tricks or poach where that weak safety is diving down. He's diving down, but we've got a middle field safety. So maybe they don't like it versus that. But you can see here, it's still there. We're just late, right? Like he for whatever reason, doesn't let it rip on time, on rhythm. He sees it eventually, but it's late and it's just out of our reach of our fingertips. So it's one of those things where, again, I really love the design. Anytime you get an opportunity to convert a 3rd and 15 with something that's there and we're just a little late, that's a pretty good scheme. I mean, that is pretty close to being converted even though we're late. Didn't even say it goes through his hands. It'd be a tough catch, no doubt. Close one. Next one here, a little 2-minute drive right before the first half ends. We're going to hit the number 3, work in the middle of the field. They're going to match to the shallow. Linebackers run out of that second level, creates a big space, big window in the middle of the field, put it right between the hashes, big chunk. Love it. So again, watch those linebackers match 17 on the check shallow. There it is. He's got that gravitational pull for the coverage. They're going to always know where he is. But this is a really nice job. Again, are they using... It sure looks like it. I feel like Cliff and company are doing a great job of helping the pass pro with check, chip, shallow, right? So he's chipping, helping the pass pro. Then these second level players are driving on him, driving on this shallow. That's creating this big space in between the hashes. So when we work up, whether this is supposed to be an in, a basic, a hunt, or really a cross that gets rerouted, you see all this space. But it's not just, hey, run up there and run an in route and we'll throw it to you. It's everything around it impacting that middle of the field to then pop open. And that's a lot of space in a 2-minute situation where they know we're trying to throw it, get a chunk. So just a really nice job, again, of offensive architecture. You see the pass pro connected to the routes. And again, it's excellent pass protection. There's no one around us. You can stand back there like a statue and drive it down the middle of the field. Outstanding. All right, into the second half here. First one, big post opportunity up top. Now, we end up getting the penalty, so we get the huge explosive play. I think you're probably a little bit fortunate here that the corner panics to get this penalty at the end of this thing, because I don't think this is necessarily in our range of being able to hook this thing up. And there's a few things I want to talk about here, because I feel like there are a few patterns that are emerging, even though obviously we're playing at a very high level at quarterback. The first thing I want to talk about is just the footwork. So to me here, he takes a gun 7-step drop. Now, the only person that I've ever seen consistently do this is Mahomes. And I think it's when he just has a feel and is kind of drifting to buy time. This, to me, this guy's a very sharp guy. He knows exactly what he's doing footwork wise. It's just a unique choice from the offense to say 7 here and throw what I consider almost like an inside vertical. Now, it might be a big post over the top. I personally think kind of an inside, almost like run down the numbers, deep, skinny post is the best way to do this, because when you have plays where you're going to have crossers tethered to this, so one of these guys crossing across the field here, these safeties are going to drive to this, and there's a chance that you get some sort of invert replace. All that means is it's fancy language to say someone on the backside, one of these DBs, who the hell knows who's going to drop where on this thing, is going to try to run to this post. And if you make it a flat post, like with any sort of angle like that, he's got a much better chance of getting to it. That's why you almost want to run like an inside go ball. So again, I think it's an easier, shorter throw without a 7-step gun drop. And then I want that post up top to be skinnier, to be right down the numbers. And he keeps it pretty skinny. But you can see here, if you just use, because he's right on the numbers to start, he's on the bottom of the numbers. If you just use the numbers as a sidewalk and say run right down the numbers, so go from the bottom of the numbers to the top of the numbers as your post angle, that safety on the other side probably doesn't become that much of a factor. But again, is it an easier throw if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 throw now? I think it is. Again, I'm not saying I know what their footwork is. I'm saying here he takes 7. This is his 5th step. So if he were to throw this thing, around the 30 or the 25, I think it's just an easier hookup. And these guys on the backside are not going to run to it because it happens faster. So again, just pointing out things timing wise to me that still don't look maybe as locked in as some other units. Doesn't mean that you don't get the big explosive play. And again, I love the aggressiveness, but I think you have to at least acknowledge the fact that you get a little bit bailed out by the corner freak panicking right there and not playing the ball or seeing the ball better. So again, from behind, watch the drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, it's a little drifty at the top. I mean, I just can't imagine that they said, yeah, let's go gun, take a 7 steps and throw a post as far as we can. Now, it's impressive that he can even make this throw. That's a whole different conversation, right? He throws this thing from what? The 35, 65 yards in the air? Pretty damn impressive. Next one here, very next play, beautiful quarterback lead, pin and pull up top to the boundary. Now, excellent pin by a wide receiver, pretty amazing to get a wide receiver to be able to do that. some nice blocks downfield as well. But this is what great offensive architecture looks like in the quarterback run game. There's no read. This is just simple catch, run right. It's not as simple as just calling Q right or Q sweep right. There are some really fun blocks on this thing, specifically on the edge here. So we're going to get this thing pinned down, and then we're going to get the lead blocker out, and we're going to get two bigs out as well. So snap it, get out in front, and everybody wins their blocks. So we win a bunch of one-on-one blocks down the field, and our quarterback's able to prance in. It's just an excellent job. You can see the numbers. They don't have quite enough dudes up there. And again, the quarterback run game is always that kind of secret equalizer. They literally have everybody blocked to the play side, a race to the pylon. It's outstanding. Again, you can see here, you're running the quarterback, but he's not taking crazy hits. Everybody's blocked. It's a massive block by 85 right on the pin. Boop, got him. Too easy. Big guys out in front, sorting it out. Love it. Next one here, 3rd and 13. Another pretty impressive conversion. Again, tough down and distance, 3rd and 13. We're going to hit the number 3 up top. He's going to throw up the mailbox. It is outstanding pass protection. It really is. I mean, he's got no one around him. You have to acknowledge the great pass pro. You love to see it. Okay, we're going to chip on the right tight end. Again, different ways to get chip. I would say that's not a normal chip split there. So he's got a wide split on the nub, still get a chip. Again, nobody around him. My favorite right guard in the league, they're just making it look easy. Get out of here. Just a simple, easy bench press. No, thank you. Stay away from our guy. Extend a little bit. Find the mailbox. Great vision. Big first down. I mean, it really just too easy. This is more pass protection and a lack of rush, not doing anything, because there's no way that this should be there up top. I mean, he's wide open, throwing up his hand, mailbox. Look at that thing. That can't be part of the initial read, especially versus zone. You'd think there'd be somebody over there. They break down. And again, Jayden's able to extend just enough, right? That's not like bailing out of the pocket, but he's not a statue back there. He's able to buy just enough time, showcase the athleticism, the torque to be able to bail out to the right, boom, rip it, and go get a first. Love it. Next one here, another 3rd and 4. This time we're going to try to hit the number 1 down here to the bottom on a little get meshy. Now, it's a completion, and you can certainly see why the completion percentage is so high. But this is a throw, I think a better throw allows this to not only be a first down, but to be probably a big chunk down the right side. So there were a few throws in this game, if you're being real critical of Jayden, that he could probably have set his feet a little bit better, or even if he doesn't set his feet, he can just make a better throw because he's got the torque, the rotational force to put this ball where he wants. It's just a tick behind us. So if we're going to run some iteration of mesh here, so we got the number 2 up top, trying to set this pick for us, and we're coming underneath here, across on the runaway versus man coverage. Great, love it. All I'm saying here is whatever the drop is supposed to be, put your back foot in the ground and throw a strike to the number 1 that's open. As opposed to, kind of bailing backwards. We saw him bail backwards in the first half and got away with it. Right here, I think, a better throw, maybe he has to sit there and get hit, but we can make that throw. And again, even if we're going to do this and kind of not set our feet and torque it like that, I still think he can make that throw. That's a 15-yard throw. Put it right where you want. Slightly more precise on this little shallow runaway, because that is, again, beautiful design. We've got multiple winners. We just don't get the first down here. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, it's not the worst throw in the world, right? It's still a completion. You can make the argument we probably got to go for that on 4th down, but still just that close to being perfect. Next one here, 3rd and 8. Again, another completion. We're going to have to end up bailing up top. We're in quads. We get this double chip. We end up getting a completion. So again, you can see the completion percentage. It's no joke. Okay, they're not all perimeter screens. Here we're kind of extending, creating. Again, I love the use of quads in the league. I'm just going to say, for this, I think you showcases Jayden's athleticism, ability to extend that thing. The problem here, okay, and this is more like a universal pass pro issue. When you do this, and everybody in the league does this, technically it's kind of like a fudged 7-person protection, because we're chipping the edges and we're getting into checkdowns, okay, whatever they're supposed to be. It doesn't really matter what the checkdowns are, but we're chipping on both sides. So even though it's quads, right, it's 4x1, we're really only getting 3 people out down the field. And that's fine. It's a strategic choice about the pass pro. But when you don't do the pass pro from back here, so you don't have these guys in the backfield like split flow, and you can't really do it when you need a nub, but you can have the back here, is technically, they might call it 7-person protection. So he might have a duel from, 1 to whatever. But if you're going to go, is his responsibility, this guy, only they know what the pass pro call is. What I'm saying here is when you do it at an empty, it's really 5-person protection. So if they're going to make essentially a 5-0 call here and go, these 5 are getting blocked, and all these guys on the edge are chipping. So they're chipping the edges. Well, if they bring 6, we're in deep shit. And that's kind of what happens here. So when this guy blitzes, there's nobody back here to pick him up. You can't sort out 6 people with 5, even though you're chipping. So the principles are 7 people. And again, maybe one of those guys has that Mike linebacker. It doesn't look like it, right? So it looks like the center here is trying to do a little too much. Now it ends up working, sort of, because we get a completion. But you can see here kind of the underlying fragile structure of this kind of pass pro. So again, just watch the center. He's got someone over his nose. He then passes this thing off. Well, even though he's passing it off to my favorite right guard, the right tackle's not ready for this. And again, we're still chipping the right edge. So they're bringing 4 to R3, even though we're in 7-person protection. I hope that makes sense, because it's not an easy thing, but you see it a lot, and you see it more and more because this protection used to be guys in the backfield. So it would be true 7-person protection. Well, now this is really 5-person protection. So again, they're essentially 5-0ing this thing. That's wrong. Here, these 2 are out, and we're fanning this thing over here. So when this guy blitzes, the center does whatever he's doing here. I'm not sure we want to do that. We kind of pass it off here, but now we're going to have this guy as the free runner. So you think you're all blocked up with 7-person protection, but really you're in 0, and now you got to bail. So just one of the few times in this game where I felt like Jayden didn't have an answer. So there is no answer here. There's no 0 throw. There's nobody running to the middle of the field. He can't get rid of it. Now he's got to bail and throw a check down, which is tough. All right, into the 4th quarter here. We're going to have 13 personnel go from 3-by-1 to 2-by-2 play action. We're going to get a chance to hit the tight end over the ball. Don't like it. I'm going to go up top to the number 1 on the deeper curl. Throw a bit of a sinker. It's a nice chunk completion, but I think the easier, better play here is probably the 86 over the ball. Probably times out better. I think it's open. You never really want to be in the habit of passing up 1 to 2. But again, right on the logo, that's pretty good. And that's as good as you'll ever see over the middle of the field there. No one between the hashes, let it rip. Now again, it's still a nice chunk. It's not the end of the world. Yes, we're being very picky, but the thing that I love here is besides for the wide edges, the big boy personnel out there, we're going to get this opportunity where I'm calling this the number 1 because it happens a little bit quicker, a little bit shallower than the outside wide receiver, deep hook or curl. So again, just raise up. It's there. Put it on him. We don't need to get to this. And again, when he does get to this, I feel like his feet back here get a little bit all over the place, a little bit helter-skelter, and then we end up throwing a bit of a sinker down here and not being able to drive the ball like we normally do, so consistent with our precision and accuracy. So again, play this thing out. Don't pass over 1 to get to 2. Over the ball, right there. Got him. Now maybe he's nervous that 3 is going to take it. Okay, keep your base as opposed to kind of like 1 hitch over the ball, 2 hitch outside. He kind of gets that like little, you can watch the back foot kind of go up and down like, and now we don't quite have enough juice to put it right where we want. So really nice job by McLaren coming back and getting that thing, getting underneath it. But I feel like this is just a really, again, nice design from Cliff. Super simple. 1, 2, check down. 1's open, put it on him. Next one here, 2nd and 15. This is probably my favorite throw of the game. A little backside, either crosser or wrap, a little in route. What I love from Jayden Daniels is his back hip, his lower half. I want you to look at the violence, the torque that he's able to throw this thing with. So no to the left, and then boom. I mean, that is elite. So from that to boom, just the absolute rotational force to rip that thing and throw a seed down the middle of the field. Now, again, I think it's even more impressive when you add to the fact that he's probably going left to right on this thing. So we're going flat, no, stick, no, and then McCaffrey back here coming from the backside, number 2 of the bunch. So just, again, a really nice job. 1, 2, 3, you can play for me. But, man, the rotational force, the lower half here. Boom. Elite movement. That's elite. That is world-class force whipping that thing down the middle of the field. Absolutely love seeing that kind of torque from a quarterback. Oh, my goodness. Next one here, another 3rd and forever, 3rd and 10 in the red zone. This is too easy. Up top, we're going to hit the little back in, kind of running that back line. Now, this defense gets a little bit confused here. You can tell they're a little locked in as far as what they're trying to do, running with the kind of pseudo crossers. What ends up working out almost like a dagger to the left. But this is way too easy. And I get it. 3 is a very good football player. But right here, he looks a little bit confused as far as who's who in the zoo. And so when I'm talking about red quarters, I am talking about this back end here, playing some version of quarters, bracket. It really doesn't matter what the hell you call it. 4 deep. We're going to come up here. And as he runs into the space of this safety up top, what is that safety going to do? Is that safety going to match him and run with him? Is he going to try to pass him off to the other safety over here and then fall back into this window? That's what you got to be nervous of. But right here, this is too easy. So when the safety here runs out of here and goes with this kind of inside receiver, that creates a huge window right here to just run up, run that little in route right into that space, right? Whoop. Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, just doing work on these in breakers, beating them right in the middle of the field. Outstanding job from this offense. Again, nothing crazy here play design. You know, this is essentially running dagger from the 10-yard line. Not something I would say you see a whole lot of, but it helps when the safety runs out of there. And again, they look confused, talking back and forth, chirping at each other. It's not that easy when you get guys running down here, even though it's in a condensed space in the red zone. I mean, that is, right? That's too easy. Catches that thing on his throat. Awesome. Next one here, 3rd and 5. This ends up being a big chunk play to 14 down here at the bottom of the screen. Now, I don't necessarily think this is the intent of the play. It's a really nice job from Jayden kind of making this thing happen. And again, make sure you protect yourself on the boundary. My goodness. But I think he's trying to get the ball to 8 here. And it just kind of flashes right in his face. Now, if this is a built-in outlet or a built-in kind of secondary element of this play, it's even better design than I'm giving it credit for. But what I'm saying here is I think he's trying to get to this right here, out this backside to the back. Then we're going to chip here and kind of get into that oh shit area. So this to me is what I think the intent of it is. But then when we fake here and get out here, the edge here is a little bit in flux. So we've got some issues potentially edgewise here because we're chipping, getting into this. So technically, you know, what is this supposed to look like? I'm going to bet it's supposed to look like naked. He's going to put his foot in the ground and try to throw this thing back across the field. But when we get out here to this edge, he just kind of says, well, there's nobody out here. I'll just flip it to the guy I just faked it to. So it's kind of one of those like in structure creative moments. It's not necessarily the intent of the play. Because you can tell 8's pumping there. And again, if you my thing maybe would be, hey, if we're trying to throw it to the back out the backfield, we probably need to block up the edge. Because this isn't a screen. This just works out where he sees it and makes it happen. So I'm giving Jayden Daniels all the credit here to be able to kind of make this play happen. I don't think it's like a built-in kind of screen we're trying to throw here. There's no lineman out over here. Everyone's going to the left. We're trying to sell this thing. Jayden just makes it work, and it turns into a huge chunk play. They got it going. And then finally here, the last one. I put this one on here just for fun. If you made it to this point in the video, you're obviously locked in. So this is a run play. This is a little bit more Patreon community-ish, but this is the final touchdown of the game for the Commanders. This is kind of a little wrinkle on what I'm used to calling split flow inside zone. So the wrinkle is really the left tight end, 87. Okay. So right here, this block, to be able to say you're going to come in here and block this Mike linebacker, and we're going to get the traditional split flow action coming back to block the C gap. It allows this thing to kind of push front side, and then we're going to cut right off that block. This is not something you normally see. What you normally see here is we'll leave the C gap defender, and then we will be down here. So here, these two will be comboing up here, and these guys will stay front side. So this little wrinkle, just this little wrinkle, I want you to lock in about how it happens tempo-wise. It's probably just a tag on their split flow inside game. It tells these guys up front, hey, we don't have to go to the mic. We can push front side, let him come in here, and you essentially get double slice or slice action. So here and then here. And it's just a really cool, I've never seen it. I'm sure they probably didn't invent it, but I think it works perfectly right here. So boom, boom. And it kind of looks like they're both happening. You can kind of see the tight ends going in, kind of both going the same path. One's just going at the second level. One's going behind the line of scrimmage. So whoop, boom, boom, boom. And that creates that huge cavern. I mean, nobody in the middle of the field right there, right? Just crushing the spine of the defense. So that is a wrap. Jayden Daniels, the Commanders, rolling. I thought Cliff Kingsbury is in his bag. He's doing a great job of play calling, offensive architecture, designing. So many times you turn on those third down cut-ups and there's someone winning right away. The first read is there. So that's awesome offensive design. Thought Jayden Daniels executed at a high level. I really like Cliff's use of different personnels. Changing the edges is something that I'm fascinated to see if he continues to do. I think the scary part is acknowledging the fact that Jayden Daniels is off to a great start. He looks polished. He's showcasing the athleticism, the running ability, the creative element, with also some arm talent, just straight up ripping the ball from within the pocket on time. All great things. And then you add on the fact that you turn on the film and there really are more opportunities there. So that's got to be the exciting thing for them as they go in and look at the film and realize, oh my goodness, this can get better. And we can get it better together just by fine-tuning some things. It's not huge overhauls. It's, hey, this is maybe there on time. Let's cut this drop down. Let's align this drop with the depth of what we're doing on the perimeter. And as those things come into alignment, come into focus, this thing could get really scary. Regardless, awesome film to break down. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.